Good evening, and welcome to GRE Vocabulary News on this February the 19th, 2015. The only news with vocabulary that you will never, ever use anywhere else but the GRE exam. I'm Zajiga Mawizi with a colorful uterus and my butt itches. Wal Mart belauded itself after raising the base pay of its workers to a monumental $9 an hour nationwide today. In response, stock market shares fell 2.8% as the averice-laden investors failed to realize that the poverty-stricken Wal Mart worker is actually the chain's largest and most faithful consumer, so it will end up back in their pockets anyway. Of course, this was actually a cynical bathos in the storied history of the nation's largest private employer in the treatment of its workers. The goal was to appear as a benign, caring, leave-it-to-beaver father figure raising the allowance for its children, when in several midterm elections they were given a bastinado by the huddled masses demanding a higher minimum wage. Sources say it behoved them to appear as if the wage rise was out of the kindness of their hearts, when in several states and cities they were legally obliged to do so anyway. A clever way to beguile the public and craft their image more positively in an effort to avoid being bemired. In Iraq, several DAESH, ISIS, ISIL, and so-called Islamic State fighters landed in their afterlife today. They passed through the bedizened pearly gates of what they thought was heaven with bibulous swagger. Then a beadle made sure all of their paperwork was in order as they passed through. Upon arrival to their bevy of 72 virgins, they were unable to get it up, as they have become so used to getting it on with each other. Bemused as they were also ill-prepared for the beguile that then appeared from a cloud of red smoke to berate them for their wrongdoing. An eternity of suffering was then introduced to the DAESH fighters as a bay of rabid wolves escorted them away. Prior to all of this, the bellicose fighters met their end as Peshmerga fighters repelled an attack southwest of Erbil. The begrimed, extremely un-Islamic Islamists were lucky enough to be throat-punched and sent to hell by several Kurdish beldams, who, while listening to the latest Cannibal Corpse album, assumed that the lyric booklet was an instruction manual. On to less morose news, astronomers have discovered that an alien star system passed through our solar system just 70,000 years ago. As the red dwarf known as Scholzs Star passed through the Oort cloud outside of the dwarf planet Pluto, he noticed how sexy our mother star was and began to badinage her. Our sun was vaguely charmed at first, but things took a turn for the worse for Mr. Scholz when the playful banter became bawdy in nature as he made lewd comments saying that he wanted to baste the perpetually cooking planet Mercury. The sun averred that it would be best for Mr. Scholz to get his brown dwarf friend and mosey on through the galaxy. Besotted, but rejected. The Scholzs Star continued, and our mother sun belabored the red dwarf until it skedaddled to its current position at 20 light years away. That's all we have for GRE Vocabulary News today on the February 19th, 2015 edition. I'm Sabagala Eliwela, reminding you to listen to Ente det metal ecuatoriano for the children.